All right, so we're going to call this 8.2 because this is actually unit 8 for us. So we're going to find the volume of a perfect sphere that has a radius of 9 times 10 to the 5th units. So we're going to use the same volume formulas that we did last time, but this time we're going to be using scientific notation. So our radius is 9 times 10 to the 5th power. So for the volume, it's 4/3 times 9 times 10 to the 5th power raised to the 3rd power times pi. So our volume is 4/3 times, well, 9 to the 3rd power is 729. 10 to the 5th power raised to the 3rd power is 10 to the 15th power times pi. Now what we do is we take this number and we multiply it by 4/3. So we have 729 times 4 divided by 3 is 972. We're still multiplying by pi, and we're also multiplying by 10 to the 15th power. So now we're going to take 972 and multiply it by pi. And we get a number that's about 3053.6, which is about 3054. And we still have 10 to the 15th power. And then we have to make this proper, so we're going to move this decimal 3 places. So we're adding 3 places. So 3.054 times 10 to the 18th units cubed. Remember that 3 gets added to the 15. The next one, find the volume of a cylinder that has a radius of 4.7 times 10 to the 5th power and a height of 3.6 times 10 to the 4th power. So remember, our volume of a cylinder is radius squared pi times height. In this case, our radius is 4.7 times 10 to the 5th, and our height is 3.6 times 10 to the 4th. So we're going to plug it into our formula. Our volume is 4.7 times 10 to the 5th squared times pi times 3.6 times 10 to the 4th. We're going to first square 4.7, which is 22.09. And then we square 10 to the 5th, which becomes 10 to the 10th, times pi. And then we still have 3.6 times 10 to the 4th. So now we're going to multiply together our two scientific notations. And 22.09 times 3.6 is times our pi is approximately 249.8. We're going to round to 1 decimal place. And then we have 10 to the 10th and 10 to the 4th, which is 10 to the 14th. We need to make this proper scientific notation, so we're going to add 2. So it becomes 2.498 times 10 to the 16th units cubed. And our last one, find the combined volume of 2 spheres. So we have 2 spheres we're going to have to find here. We have sphere 1, and then we have sphere number 2, and then down here I'm going to have the combined volumes. Okay, so in our first one, the radius is this. So our volume is going to be 4/3 times 3.1 times 10 to the 4th power to the 3rd power times pi. Well, 3.1 to the 3rd power is approximately 29.791. And then 10 to the 4th power raised to the 3rd power is 10 to the 12th power. We still have pi. Then we have 4/3 times 29.791 times pi. All of that becomes approximately 124.788. And then we have 10 to the 12th power. So we need to move this 2 places, so it becomes 1.2. And if we want to make this just 2 decimal places, we can make that 1.25, or you could keep it 1.24788, whichever you prefer, times 10 to the 14th power. All right, my next one, the sphere's, the radius is 6.7 times 10 to the 3rd power. So our volume is 4/3 times 6.7 times 10 to the 3rd power times pi. And then we need to cube that. So it becomes 4/3 times 300.763 times 10 to the 9th power times pi. Now let's say that we take 4/3 times 300.763 times pi. We get approximately 1259.83, and then we have 10 to the 9th power. And then we're going to move this 3 places, so it becomes 1.25983 times 10 to the 12th power. And now before we can combine them, I need for the exponents to be the same, because it's kind of like combining like terms. So it's up to you if you want to combine them by making 12 14, or if you want to make 14 12. Sometimes it's easier to just make a smaller number larger. So if I want to make 12 into 14, I have 1.25983, and I need to move that 2 places. So it becomes 0.012593 times 10 to the 14th power. So now we're going to take this number and combine them. So 0.012593 plus 1.24788 becomes 1.260473 times 10 to the 14th power.